Good afternoon.
Hello there.
It's Barry and it's
Pro Gamer.
And we're in the shed today, but we're going to be doing something
different.
A little different. We were talking about a week ago about what scares us, or what scared us, and we thought, what a great show that would be. And a few people on our group, another bit of information about that in a minute, asked us if we'd do such a show.
This is more of a sit-down talk show.
This is a sit-down with a beer and a coffee. The thing is, I haven't got a beer and he hasn't got a coffee, so we forgot to bring our drinks down.
Well, I do have Monster, except I've already had one today. So if I have another Monster, I'll be clinging onto the ceiling.
And it's a bit early for beer.
It's more of a talk show, so we tend to go off on one and waffle, so this is what this is
We're just
for.
going to talk today,
yes.
So if you're not interested in that, turn off now. But if you are interested, let's see how we get on, because it'll probably turn into a waffle fest. So anyway, we're going over to Discord, and we can live stream. You lot can play live. You can stream live videos for us.
You'll probably see me streaming games.
He can stream games.
So
we can take part in live audio chats. We can do a lot more on Discord than we ever can on Facebook. So do you know Facebook? Stuff off.
Well, plus, with my PC as well, I can host, streaming things.
Yeah.
All sorts.
Anyway. Moving on to today's subject.
Horror.
Horror. Well, things that scared us.
Yes.
Not necessarily horror, because this is where it gets a bit weird.
True.
Where's my glasses? Yeah, so I was thinking, what scared us when we were kids and what scares us now are two entirely different things. Because over the course of the 49 years I've been on this planet, what used to scare me as a little kid sometimes was totally irrational.
Exactly.
And what scared him was totally irrational.
I've only just turned 16 and... it's only been 16 years, but I've changed a lot.
Yeah. And something that's really changed from the 60s, 70s and 80s to today, which is something he probably wouldn't experience, is back then,
movies.
There was less of an emphasis on what would scare children. So, and what I mean by that is, there'd be a horror movie on, and there'd be like a 6-year-old kid sat there watching, I don't know, Night of the Living Dead or something like that. And the parents would not for one second think, oh,
yeah, you guys didn't
this
really
might
have...
scare him.
Yeah,
we didn't have that level of censorship.
You didn't have that age rating, did you?
We
had age ratings, but no one
there
really
was age ratings on movies, wasn't
but
there? They
really
were called R or 18 or XXX if it was a porn film or whatever. And the parents knew little Joshy should not be watching this because it's nasty. But there was less... This is going to cause him psychological damage, so he's going to pee the bed tonight. So it's okay, we'll just let him watch it. If it scares him, it scares him. Now we're much more in touch with... Actually, do you know what?
Well,
some of these things are really going to screw you up.
Because of the internet, there is a lot more nasty shit than there ever was before.
God, yeah. I mean,
so, you have to be careful, because some of the shit you'll find on the internet is, nasty.
Do you know what? Somebody posted me a link to a video when I was in my 30s. I think I was, 35, 36. And not going into detail, it was something gruesome that was taken by a particular terrorist organisation, and it was put online. And I clicked on it and I watched it, and it was horrific. And I mean, you see gore, don't you, on movies, right? You see people getting shot, dismembered, all sorts.
Games.
But when you see a piece of video footage and you see a real human being treated in this way, it left me I was shaking with fear. I turned it off, and Mandy comes on and she goes, "Oh, what are you watching? Can I have a look?" And I went, "No, you are not watching what I have just watched. I've just watched somebody's life ended at the hands of somebody else." And that was true horror. That was real horror. That was horrific.
And that is available all over the internet. Yeah. And some sick people put things like that in embedded clips of children's things, so children will see them.
Yeah.
They'll put small splices of this in a Peppa Pig show, and a 6-year-old will see this. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, what kind of sick arsehole does that? Really?
The millions of people on the internet.
Honestly,
the internet is a amazing place, but also weird.
Yeah. So thinking about what my mum and dad allowed me to watch, not out of cruelty, out of naivety. I think it was naivety.
Well, you guys didn't really know, did you?
Here's a prime example before I get onto the subject of Alien. Alien was shown on ITV, I think it was on at 9 or 10 o'clock one night, and I must have been about 11 or 12.
Kids will see that.
And my mum and dad taped it, right? And the reason my mum and dad taped it was because mum and dad thought Barry loves sci-fi, so we will tape this film about aliens for him. Not knowing, of course, because my dad was not into sci-fi, neither was my mum.
Yeah, you'd do that, wouldn't you? If your kid was into sci-fi space, you'd be like, oh, this might be a cool movie called Aliens, screw it, why not?
And I'd seen the cover of Alien, the paperback, in Safeways on the shelves amongst all the other books, and I used to love looking at paperback covers because the art was absolutely fabulous. So I knew a little bit about Alien, and I knew there was like this glowing egg on the cover. Anyway, the following morning, it was a Saturday morning, and my mum said, oh, we taped you a movie last night. After you'd gone to bed, there was a movie on called Alien, and we thought you might like to watch it.
At least you watched it in the day.
And of course I put Alien on, and I shit myself. I mean, there's no bones about it. It bloody terrified me, and we'll come on to that in a minute. So that level of naivety is not there anymore. Most rational parents would not allow their kids to sit and watch this stuff, because
it is now, and it needs to be there.
It psychologically damages you.
Because
there's no doubt about it.
It's never before been easier to see the nastiest shit on social media. Like, no matter how many times these companies try and moderate what's posted, they still get there somehow.
Oh yeah,
you'll see the video that went viral, I don't know, months back, of the guy killing himself on a stream.
Yes,
that went to millions of people.
Let's face it, you could make a movie right now or something absolutely horrific, post it to YouTube, and it would probably take days
for them to take it
down. Before
and by
it would
that
get
time,
taken down.
It's gone to millions.
Yeah, millions of kids have seen it.
Another problem is that the teenagers nowadays, they see something really, really gruesome or bad that's trending.
Yeah.
I saw it was this movie that was trending, and it was upsetting a lot of people. And then they do the classic thing.
Look at this!
God, no, not even that. Guys, make sure you don't watch it.
Yeah.
So when someone's like, I want to watch it.
Reverse psychology. Yeah.
Oh God, I hate the internet. It's stupid.
Now it's very easy for kids to gain access to horrific things. Obviously, if you leave them access to a device with full access
any
to the
sort
internet.
of Wi-Fi, then.
But back when I was growing up, the only way to see such thing was to rummage in the cupboard and find a stack of old VHS tapes, right?
Yeah.
That you weren't meant to see. So God knows how many friends' houses we went round, and the parents were out during the summer holidays, and it was like, what have we got here? Oh, The Evil Dead. Oh, Zombie Flesh Eaters. Oh, American Werewolf in London. So we'd pull one of these VHSs out the cupboard, and we'd all sit there, shit ourselves, and have a great time, and thinking, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, when you're with friends.
But come to bedtime, right, when darkness descends, and you've got to go up to your room in pitch black, all you can think about is that bloody film you sat and watched that afternoon. But
so as a kid, the things that scared you were the horrors trending at the time.
If I made a list, and I think mostly if I think of real life, not a lot scared me in real life, because as a kid you're a bit
negligent.
You are negligent. For example,
you don't know the real world properly.
Me and my friends used to live in an area of Kings Norton, and there was a factory nearby called Berman's. I think they used to make gearboxes or something. And the River Ray runs through Birmingham, and there is a concrete pipe that leads into the river, and it's about 1 metre high. It's a concrete pipe. It was a drain water pipe, and for months on end we'd go down there every day on our BMXs. We'd take our torches. I rigged up a headlamp with a battery pack. And
sounds like some.
That's just me.
Stephen King type shit.
I was that kid out of Goonies. Yeah. So I rigged up this car headlamp, and we'd go on these skateboards, and we'd go, I don't know, half a mile up these concrete pipes, pitch black, full of God knows what diseases and insects and Christ knows what else, and we didn't care.
To be honest, when I was a kid, I didn't have access to social media, so on, all this. I didn't really, I only really started using it when I was in like
12, 13, 14,
12, 13, 14.
It's probably when you got a console, isn't it?
Yeah, but mum and dad always, moderated me very well, so I didn't see all this scary shit. But the things that scared me as a kid were definitely movies. Yeah. That was the only things that could scare me. It's not like nowadays kids will hop onto an app like TikTok, for example.
Yeah.
A 7-year-old kid, and they'll come across something horrific. I didn't have access to that, so the things that would scare me were movies.
I can think of 3 off the top of my head. that really scared you? And I think at the top of the... We've got a couple at the top of the list, haven't we? And the one at the top of the list probably is...
Coraline.
Oh, I thought you was going to say Spirited Away.
Okay. Spirited Away messed me up in the head.
Yeah. I mean, how old was you?
I don't remember.
How old?
I don't remember.
It was out in 2001.
6.
I think you were about 5 or 6 when you saw that.
And this Muppet said, guys, come on, let's watch this movie. It's a really good movie. It's really rated quite high.
Because it's an animated cartoon.
My God, it messed me up in the head, you know.
But
it is a messed up movie.
Spirited Away, for those who don't know, is
Japanese
an award-winning, and I mean it's an absolute award-winning anime cartoon. It's beautifully drawn. It's a beautiful story.
Oh, it's messed up.
It's basically about this 10-year-old kid with her parents in an Audi, and it is an Audi.
They go on a road trip.
And they end up at this place. I don't know the full story.
It's an amusement park, isn't it?
It's some amusement park.
It's an abandoned amusement park, and they stop there
full of ghosts,
and then she's transported to another realm.
Yes,
her parents get turned into pigs.
Yes,
by this witch person who's got a head like a rugby ball.
Yeah,
and
there's all sorts of really scary imagery in it.
It's not. It's psychological, and it messes me up in the head. It was scary, and it scared Mom. Mom was an adult, and it scared Mom.
I can remember it like it was yesterday, because it was playing in the first few minutes. We thought, oh yeah, this is quite pleasant. It's an anime cartoon. And then you see this like ghost thing creep past, and then you see... I
forgot the name of it, but it's like the guy with the white mask with like the black eyes and the black... I forgot the name of it. It's
Mandy kind of like looked at me and just went...
This is weird.
And I went, let's give it a few minutes. And it got worse.
The pigs.
And it got worse, and then we turned it off. And
it messed... Oh my God,
but I think the damage had been done.
That messed me up.
You were very, very scared of it, weren't you? And I can, looking back at it, I can see. I mean, just look at some of these stills here. You can see that it is.
I've spoke to some people now.
Weird.
I've spoke to kids my age. You know, sometimes it'll get onto a random conversation about what we used to watch. And I've spoke to people who were dead scared of it as well. Some other people have seen it, and they were dead scared of it. Coraline was the same.
The thing is, if you think about Spirited Away, it's not irrational to be scared of that, because it's something to be feared. It's something that's meant to be scary.
It's the feeling of being alone with like ghosts and shit.
Yeah.
Oh nah, get that out of there.
The Dead. Japanese horror movies.
Never seen one.
Oh my God! Like The Grudge. The Ring, a lot of those stories.
Oh yeah, The Ring.
A lot of those stories are pretty nasty when you think about it. But the thing is, it's rational to be scared of such things. If I think of an irrational fear that Josh had,
volcanoes.
We've mentioned it before. Volcanoes, for some reason.
I watched a disaster movie. These two were watching a disaster movie.
I think it was Dante's
Peak, yeah. And I came downstairs and I sat in the living room for a bit and I watched it. And I think it was just the feeling of panic as they were trying... No, shut up. Shut up, don't laugh. The feeling of panic as they were trying to like escape from this volcano. I don't know why, that scared the shit out of me.
It did. And
it was the thought of it happening in real life, and I was trying to put myself in that situation where we'd have to leave the house, we'd have to get the hell away. Do you know what I mean? That was just scary.
And he wouldn't sleep properly for many months.
I thought a volcano was going to appear in the garden.
Yeah. Coraline's another one.
Coraline was weird. I didn't like that.
Coraline, I think, is one of the most beautifully animated movies of all time.
But the button eyes, man, I don't like.
But that led me on to something else about humanoids and eyes. But Coraline, to look at now, I think Coraline's beautiful. I can sit and watch that.
You're just weird
all day long. I love the animation. I love the story. Actually, it's a bit of a freaky story.
It's weird.
You know,
I don't like it.
It's beautiful,
weird.
but yes, you were scared to death.
It had a woman with buttons as her eyes, and she turns into a big ass spider thing.
Yes.
Oh god, man, that's
beautiful, beautifully drawn.
And it was the
Do you know what else scared you?
Shit as well.
Do you know what else scared you? What? And I never thought it would scare you, me or Mum. The Iron Giant. You were petrified of the Iron Giant.
The Iron Giant that scared me was when he was in the woods at the start of the film. That was a bit creepy. Come on, the kid is alone in the woods in the middle of the night where something massive has just trampled through woods. Yeah. That is creepy. I don't know if I ever saw anything as a kid that was completely out of my age, like an 18 movie by accident that would have scared me. I don't think I did.
I can't.
I don't like when you accidentally come across something, you're like, oh my god.
No, the only thing that springs to mind that you accidentally came across was me playing Call of Duty World at War, and I was cutting somebody's throat. There's a scene. There's a set piece in Call of Duty World at War where you swim underneath some bamboo huts, and I think, and you come up and you've got a commando knife, and you just cut somebody's throat open. And I've got my headphones on and I'm playing away, and I get out the water and I cut this guy's throat, and it's quite graphic. And I suddenly hear, "Dad, Oh my God, he stood there. He stood there watching me. What does he do? Mum! Dad's just cut some bloke's throat open. What? Mum comes running upstairs. I get it in the neck. Good pun. I really get it in the neck. I'm blamed for you irresponsible bastard. How the hell can you I didn't know he was stood there. I had headphones on and I was playing. But that's probably the only thing you've accidentally stumbled across.
Yeah.
So Coraline and Spirited Away, and the other one.
Yes.
The other one.
Weeping Angels from Doctor Who.
Now, Doctor Who is meant to scare you. Proper Doctor Who, let's be honest, is a world apart, a world away of what it is now. Now it's crap, right?
Yes.
Let's say no more.
The last good Doctor.
Draw a line there. Doctor Who is a pile of shit now.
The last good Doctor was Matt Smith, because the Weeping Angels was Matt Smith.
I think the problem with Doctor Who, right, and we're going a little bit off subject here, but the problem with Doctor Who is the writing has been so bad.
Trash.
Right? They've had some amazing actors play the Doctor. There's no doubt. And Matt Smith was great.
What's that
and
guy?
Actually, the last guy, Peter Capaldi, would have played
He could have been sick.
a brilliant Doctor.
He could have been amazing.
He reminded me of Tom Baker in many ways, but the writing is so poor.
The stories
now.
he were given were trash.
But back to Doctor Who, he was scared to death of the Weeping Angels.
Were scary.
What scared you about them?
It was scary how they stared at them and they were just completely normal statues. And look away and boom, they were like closer. Do you know what I mean? It made you think, shit, like what do I do?
Was it that if you took your eyes off them,
I felt like I'd take my eyes off the screen and be like, I don't know, man, it was weird.
No, that's good. That is effective scare. That's effectively scaring its audience.
That definitely made me like panic about my surroundings for the rest of my life. Honestly,
Doctor Who. When I was growing up, Tom Baker was my doctor, and
the Daleks
never really scared me that much. And I'll tell you why, because I thought they were just upturned pepper pots.
I was going to say they're not really scary.
And I thought they're easy to get away from. All you got to do is shut the door or climb up a step or something.
Guns.
But there are some creatures that really scare. And I can't remember their names. There was an episode of Tom Baker's Doctor Who where there was a guy, and I think he had like a tie on and a suit, normal human being. But when he took his face off,
were they the mannequins?
Not the mannequins. And when he took his face off, there was this tentacled monster with one eye. And the episode where that was revealed,
I don't remember its name.
When he did that, it was the old camera was to his back, and I think he does this,
and then turns around.
And he turns around, and it's just a tentacled mess with an eye. I shit myself. But Doctor Who is meant to scare you. Doctor Who was renowned for being scary. Now, no, don't go there, Baz. Don't go there.
Irrational things scared me.
Scared Josh?
Yes.
Masks. You hated masks?
I blame my first school for that. Our first school did this thing where they had a company come in who made these really, really realistic facial masks. Not really real. They were weird. I can't describe them, but they were like these big human flesh skin coloured masks with like quite big eyes, but they all had different facial expressions. Like one was really happy, one was sad, one was... I can't remember what they were trying to perform or prove.
Jesus, that's scaring me, and I've not seen
I can't remember what they were trying to perform. I don't remember what kind of workshop it was, but those masks were terrifying. I don't know. No, dead ass. They scared the shit out of me.
Did you have to leave the class at one point?
I had to leave the class at one point. They were like... I didn't like it, the way the bodies were moving, the way they were moving, acting and that, but the masks were still and the faces were still. I hated that. From then on, I think Mum and Dad realised that any irrational shit could scare me. Like a fire extinguisher would scare me for some reason. Do you know what I mean?
But that's kids for you.
So they kept me away from those kind of movies, and I finally figured out how to go to sleep at night. Took me a bloody long time. And from then on, I got better.
We had to do a lot of relaxation techniques, didn't we, to get you to settle at night?
I was scared of going to sleep. I don't know why. But I
think a lot of kids to go through that.
I was scared of... Because my bed's against the wall. I was scared of turning my back to my room because I thought that something is just going to rush me. I had the weirdest shit
as a small boy, I honestly remember barricading myself under my quilt.
Exactly.
And just...
You have to protect yourself.
Absolutely convinced that something was going to attack me.
When you turn the lights off downstairs and you go up the stairs, something is chasing you. Like, it just is,
Yeah. I mean, if I think back to the first thing that really scared me, for me, I think it's got to be Jaws. I was 7 or 8, I think, when Jaws came out. Probably younger.
There is a good jump
scare. Was it 1976?
There's a good jump scare in Jaws.
Well, this is what I'm getting onto. I think it was 76, 77. Whenever Jaws came out, I saw it. I don't know how I got into the cinema with Mum and Dad, but we went to the King's Norton Cinema to see it. I think it was a PG. It might have been. And I went to see Jaws, and there's a lot of talking in Jaws, and there's a lot of it that won't interest a 6 or 7 year old kid. But there's some of the bits that absolutely horrified me. Obviously, the parts
shark,
that feature the shark. But the scene that was added after they finished the movie, Steven Spielberg thought, I can get one more scare out of these people. And it was a scene with a head in the boat. Yeah. And that was filmed after Jaws had completed. I remember sat there, and I was a little kid. I think I had some popcorn or something. And you know the scene, you know it. He jumps into the water, he swims under the boat, and he pulls a tooth. And it's a beautifully crafted, it's a very, very cleverly crafted scene, because there's no build-up music. You know, normally when there's a jump scare, they have build-up music.
Really, like, so you know something's going to happen. Bang, loud sound. It was none of that.
It's silent, and I think he pulls his diving knife out, doesn't he? And
he's trying to get a tooth out.
He pulls a tooth, and he rocks the boat, and that bastard
face just swings round.
It's a head.
Yeah.
It's a decapitated head. And the sound effect, because there's like a sound effect, like a scream sound effect. Oh, dear Lord. You think I could get that face out of my visions going to sleep from that moment on? God almighty. And the attack at the end as well, because I remember at the end thinking, they're in a boat, they're as safe as houses, you know, they're going to kill this damn shark and they're going to take it back. They're in a boat. What could possibly go wrong? Holy
Everything.
Shit. The shark eats the boat, and when he chomps down on, oh God, what's the captain called? I can't remember his name.
I don't know his name. The nutcase.
Quint. Is it Quint?
That rings
when he chews down on the grizzled sea
captain
dog and literally bites him in half, and you know, you see the blood explode out. I thought, well, this is rather unpleasant. And yeah, it really scared me. And then from that moment on, I didn't want to have a bath. I sat in the bath, and Mum, like, you know, give me, like you do with a little kid, you give them a quick wash, and then you let them play with the toys for 10 minutes and leave them in peace. I shit myself. Honestly, I couldn't wait to get out of the bath, because I was absolutely convinced, God knows how, that it was going to somehow come up the drain pipe. The fact that it would only be like this big, but it was going to come out the drain pipe and eat me. Oh my
Thinking
God.
of, that reminded me, the scene from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith scared me a bit.
Which scene?
The bit where Anakin catches fire on Mustafar against his fight against Obi-Wan when he's laid there and he catches fire. That was a bit gruesome. That's the only reason that movie's...
It's a dark movie.
That's the reason that movie's 15, because of that scene.
Yeah, it's a dark movie.
And he's on fire, and he's screaming, and he's melting, and you can see his face literally on fire. And that was like, oh, I don't like that. That messed me about a bit. But
you can see why Vader's pissed off all the time, can't you?
Yeah. As I grew up from there, the things that scared me onwards were games from there, because then I started to become a gamer. I played Destiny on release of the PS4,
yes,
which was good, until I got to the moon.
Yeah, the
where
Thrall.
You encounter the Thrall, the screaming things that run at you, jump at the camera, and scare the shit out. That panicked me.
And the levels with the Thrall when you're in darkness just with a torch.
Yeah, I had to stop playing Destiny.
Yeah.
I don't know if any other games really scared me. I always struggled with horrors, obviously, because of the shit that happened to me as a kid, traumatised. But I started watching horrors, and I'm a good horror fan now, and not a lot of things scare me. You know, jump scares don't scare me, because I know when they're going to happen, you know, because all the movies are the same nowadays. It goes like, music gets louder and louder, big screen, big noise,
this is
big
something I was going to get onto at the end,
yeah.
How horror has changed, because it has changed an awful lot.
That stuff, it didn't scare me. I could watch a horror on Netflix, in the dark, in my room at night, and I'll be fine. Yeah. Like, things don't scare me anymore. And
what I find is
I grew up.
It's not. See, horror films today rely on a
Jump
couple of
scares.
things to scare the audience, and one, it's a jump scare. And let's be honest, there's not much skill in making somebody jump. I can creep up behind anyone and make them jump. That doesn't make me a skilled horror person.
It's less of a scare. It's more of a
you've been caught unawares.
A massive change in the environment, which makes your brain go.
And there's usually a stupid sound effect to accompany that jump scare. So jump scares are used heavily in today's horror movies. And the other thing is gore. Lots of gore. But that doesn't so much scare you as other than gross you out.
That's why the psychological shit scares me the most. The stuff that messes with your head.
That's proper skillful horror is about scaring people without the use of jump scares, without the use of gore and loud sound. It's genuinely scaring somebody, which takes me back onto the film that probably has screwed me up more than any other film on planet Earth, and that was, of course,
his favourite movie.
My favourite movie of all time, Alien. 1979, Ridley Scott. That man created, to me, a masterpiece. And for many different reasons. I'm not just talking about the story, the production values, the art. I think it's the creature and the way it's portrayed. We've seen many, many films where there's a bunch of people in a space being hunted by something, right?
Yes.
That's an age-old plot line. It's nothing new. What Alien did, one, I was too young. I saw it when I was about 11, and from the way the opening credits started,
that intro's scary.
Even the intro, the way the word alien appears like hieroglyphics, I thought, oh, that's a bit funny. And then for the first 20-25 minutes, sod all happens in Alien.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
It's just the build-up, isn't it?
But the build-up, you can literally cut the air with it. There's a palpable build-up of tension down to them waking up, having coffee, going down to that planet, and the person that comes up with the most sensible thing to say in the entire film is a Navigator Lambert when she says, let's just get the hell out of here. It's like, that's the most intelligent thing anyone says in the whole film, and they don't listen to her. And of course, we all know Alien, and I was sat on my own watching it. Mum and Dad were down the garden gardening, and I was sat watching this tape that they'd videoed the night before. And when it came to the egg bit, everything inside my body was saying, don't look in that egg, it's dangerous. Don't do that, that's really silly. Whoosh. Egg. Egg explodes in John Hurt's face. And I was like, wow! I didn't even take time to pause it. I just ran down the garden going, my God! Mum and Dad came in at this point to watch the rest of it with me. Like most parents nowadays, I go, okay, turn it off.
Yeah, it's clearly
go and read a Thomas the Tank Engine book, go do something else. And the bit around the dinner table, you know something's going to happen. You just know something's going to happen.
You just know.
And the damn chest burster explodes, and oh my God.
The thing dashes across the table.
Yeah. And then the full-size creature. This thing goes from being this big to 7 foot tall in the space of one act in about 10 minutes. And as we all know, it polishes off the crew. What really, truly, truly scared me about that is not what you see.
What you don't see.
It's what you don't bloody see.
Yeah.
There's one jump scare in it, I think, when Dallas is in the tunnel and Lambert says, not that way, the other way, and he turns round and then it jumps. That's the only jump scare in it. It's a very finely crafted piece of horror that scares a life out of you the first time you see it. It doesn't on subsequent views, you just love it for what it is.
Yeah.
But that creature, I was convinced that creature was in my room every night at bedtime for many, many, many months. It took me a long time to get over that. Now, I love it. I absolutely love it. And do you know one of the scariest things about that creature? And this brings me on to the whole button eyes thing. It doesn't have any eyes.
Yeah. Face the shit.
And I was just like, what? This thing hasn't got any eyes. There's its mouth, but where's its freaking eyes? And the fact that it hasn't got eyes scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
To me, is one of the scariest movies I have ever seen in my life.
So what about the shit that scares you now?
Nothing in horror. What scares me now more than anything else is real life.
Yeah, same.
The real world. I think I made some notes here actually. Yeah, raising children is the scariest thing I've ever had to do, and and not the process of having children, of course. The process of every time he goes out the door or goes off to do something, I'm petrified. And I think most people watching this who are parents will probably agree with that, because society now, I think, is more screwed up than it's ever been. You've got kids stabbing kids over something they posted on Instagram. And the other thing that scares me that never did, flying. Aviation. When I was growing up, I still love aviation now. I'm a right aviation geek. But I never used to be afraid of flying. I used to just get on a plane and think, yeah, this is great. My problem is I've watched too many air crash investigations. I binge watch aircraft investigations. Yeah. And when you think about it logically, an aircraft is a metal tube.
You're relying on a computer.
It's an imperfect machine made by imperfect beings. So an
something
aircraft
can go wrong.
Yeah, an aircraft is only ever going to be as reliable as the people that built and designed it, which of course are human beings, and we make mistakes. So every time I get on a plane now, I push it to the back of my mind, but I do think...
It's there for me as well.
What if?
It's there for me as well.
Yeah.
It's always in my head. When we get that bit of turbulence, it's
Yeah.
always like, what if something...
When you watch Aircraft Investigation, you see why these planes have come down, and it could be something like the screws were too short, that's not been maintained properly, there was a wiring shorting in the harness, pilot error, a piece of engine fragment exploded and brought, hydraulic failure. There's so many things that could happen.
Because it's such a complicated machine, there's so many things that could go wrong.
You took the words right out of my mouth. An aircraft is a complicated piece of engineering with millions of parts. And some of those parts are vital.
If one of them goes wrong...
It's like there was a pilot once sucked out of the windscreen mid-flight, right? And the rest of the crew had to hold on to his feet and land the plane quickly. And do you know why that happened?
Why?
Because when the plane was maintained, they bought the wrong size screws to put the window back in with. The screws they bought, I think, were half an inch too short. Jesus. So they put the window back in using screws that blew out during the flight.
Yeah.
Scary. There was a TV movie, a movie made for TV in the very early 80s, and it was called Aliens Are Coming. Shit title, really, isn't it, if you think
to be honest, yeah.
Shit title. And it was on telly one night, and it was on. I thought, aliens, I love this, I've got to watch this. And it's basically about a flying saucer that arrives somewhere in America, and the aliens take over some key people on the planet in some weird plot, I don't know, to take over the Earth. I don't know, I can't remember. And there was a scene in it where this alien ship lands out in the desert, and it sends out a drone ship with some aliens on. And this guy wakes up in the middle of the night and he wants a midnight snack.
Right.
And he's in bed with his wife and he goes, I'm hungry, I'm going downstairs. And he goes downstairs and he opens the fridge. And he gets out, I think he scoffs on a chicken drumstick and a glass of milk.
Yeah.
Underneath the kitchen back door that he can't see, there's a green glow.
Yeah.
And some smoke coming through. And I started to brick it then.
Yeah.
Right? And then he closes the fridge door, turns around, and there's something there. And it's like this massive green, shapeless, bright glowing blob. Oh my god. I shit myself.
Paranormal Investigation, that was a bit...
Which one was that?
The one where the guy is convinced that nothing's wrong with the house, so he has that camera, and the wife is like,
I thought that was paranormal...
Wait, super
paranormal...
No, that is Paranormal Investigation, it is. When the guy at the end gets lobbed at the camera from this...
Yeah, that's not Paranormal Investigation, that's Paranormal...
Activity,
another one.
Paranormal
Activity.
Yes. That's it, yes, that was weird.
That's a cleverly shot film.
The Conjuring's quite good.
The Conjuring... I can't remember quite what happens in The Conjuring.
The Conjuring's one where the woman's hanging from the tree.
Yeah, I remember that bit, but I can't remember what happens in...
Oh, there's just some good... It's where the woman is hanging at the cloth and the cloth blows...
Oh yes,
you can see the outline of the person stood there.
Yes,
that scared me.
Yeah, that's a very clever effect. Yeah. That's not the one where there's like a black shape on top of the wardrobe that leaps off at the kids, is it?
Yeah, the scary woman.
Is that what it is?
The way she looks up at the window and there's the woman stood there as well. That was a bit creepy.
Yeah.
The Babadook.
The Babadook. The Babadook.
However you say it. That's a
very good movie.
Because there's not many jump scares. There's about one or two.
Yeah, it's
very psychological.
Yeah.
That scared me a bit. But horror movies don't scare me much anymore.
No. The opening scene of American Werewolf in London when they get attacked on the moors by the werewolf, I think that is by far the scariest point in that entire movie.
Opening scene of Stranger Things Season 1.
Very good.
When Will gets kidnapped.
Very good. And the bit when they're in the base. When they're down in the base and that guy's running away from something and it gets him by the lift.
That was good.
Very, very well done.
I didn't like it the way Will was cycling, and it shows the brief, tall, slender man type figure stood there quickly, and I feel like that scene was scarier than whatever Demogorgon scene they had for the rest of it. And the scene of him just trying to get away from this thing and get home and get help as it's stalking him to the house, that was creepy.
So I was talking the other day to the author of Child of Vodyanai. Check out the video I did last week on that if you're interested. I was talking to the author of that book, and we came to the conclusion that one of the scariest things in horror, something that affects us on a deep psychological level, is something that's humanoid shaped, right? If you've got an alien chasing you, shaped like a Nissan Micra, you're not going to be scared of that, are you?
Yeah.
well, you probably are, because Nissan Micros are quite scary, but if it's something with arms and legs and a head, it doesn't have to be human proportions, like you said, Slender Man. It only has to be rough humanoid shape. On a subconscious level, that will scare you.
Some people walked past me with like these long like glove things with like a white. One of this girl had like a white. This was uptown. I was literally shopping. I had a Mackey's milkshake, and one of them walked past me with like a white flowing dress with fake blood down the front, with like these long finger gloves smoking.
That is cool.
And I thought my stomach turned, and I thought, holy shit, get away from me. I'm not going to lie.
That's cool.
It's not cool.
No, I think that's cool.
I don't care how people dress. Like, if you want to dress like a weirdo, go for it. Like, everyone has their own style. Look at him. He's wearing his Retro Shed t-shirt. I'm wearing an Adidas jumper. We all wear our own things, yeah? But when people decide to dress up looking like they're going to crawl out my phone screen and kill me, or if I have an argument with them, they're going to utter some levitation spell and my furniture's going to start
floating. Dude.
Like, that shit is creepy. I don't like that.
Eyes, especially glowing eyes in the dark, are shit scary. One thing about the Hulk, I used to watch the TV series The Hulk in 1978 with Bill Bixby, was it? The Hulk as a creature did not scare me, right? He's just a big green dude that gets angry and smashes stuff up. I can relate to him. But when he turned, right? When Bill Bixby turned, when David Bruce Banner turned from Banner to the Hulk in the original TV series, the first thing, he'd get angry, he'd get pissed off, and he'd suddenly just kind of like go, and his eyes changed. That scared the bejesus. And you hear that noise. I thought, oh my god, the Hulk's eyes were scarier than the goddamn Hulk.
I remember, this is the funniest memory I've ever known. I used to play out a lot with my friend back in like year 7 when I was like 12, and there was this guy who always walked around our local area with a shopping trolley full of shit, like the most random crap you've ever seen, and with like a large hat on, I think he was homeless, but he had a
sounds like the guy out of oh god, what was that film we watched on holiday? You said this is the right piece of shit.
Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers.
So he had a brain disorder of some kind, I don't know what, but he had the habit of just shouting like randomly at nothing, like talking to himself, shouting to himself, screaming, and I don't know why, but everyone called him the Moon Man. I don't know why.
Yes,
I don't know why. Everyone called him the Moon Man. I don't know who started it, but he was really well known at my local school. Everyone around, and I remember I invited my mate round, and he was meant to arrive, and he showed up like 15 minutes early, completely out of breath on my front door, panicking. He was like out of breath, because he wasn't the fittest of kids, I'm not gonna lie. He wasn't the fittest of lads, but he was out of breath, panicking. I was like, yo, what's up? And he said, the Moon Man was chasing me. And I was like, what? I looked on the street, and I'm not even joking, the Moon Man was just walking up the road, and he was just shouting to himself.
Oh, but that's just it. He wasn't walking, he was floating up the road.
No, not even. He was just like shuffling, pushing a trolley full of cans of Coke, like Coca-Cola, and just shouting. And this kid was panicking. He was like, the Moon Man was chasing me. Like, it's the weird psychotic people that scare me the most. We are both scared of Alien Isolation again. Scared the shit out of him, and at some point scared the shit out of me, because he bigged it up like mad. He said him and his mate were scared of it, so I thought, I know
a lot of people that can't play that game.
It's in the office, I'm going to go grab it, I'm going to go play it. And the build-up takes a long time, to be honest.
Yeah, it takes a good 45 minutes before you see the alien, doesn't it?
But there was some things that scared the bejesus out of me.
It's usually when you can hear it clumping towards you,
it was like
isn't
clump, and I remember I hadn't come across it yet, so I wasn't sure how it behaved. But I was just walking around, and I didn't realise that this thing can like see. And I turned around, it was like, and then it just sprinted at me. I was like,
Christ.
I fell out my gaming chair, and I threw my controller across the room, and I screamed. I fell out my chair.
We did a live stream, didn't we, last year on
Yes, but it was after that. It was after the stage we were playing that shit started to get scary, and that scared me.
So, I think we'll wrap it up there.
Have fun editing this.
That was me and him talking about things that scared us.
Yes, so join the Discord as well.
Yeah, yes. Oh, yes. Join us on Discord. Have a chat to us. Let us know what
you can use it on your phone, iPad, laptop, computers, literally whatever. So it's like Facebook to us.
Come and say hello.
Phone, so.
Join the conversation. Tell us what scares you, what doesn't scare you.
And
tell us what scares you that shouldn't scare you.
Even better, it's not moderated. So you don't have to...
Well, it is.
Well, okay.
We're moderating it.
Well, we're moderating. I was going to say, have you seen my friend's server? Jesus Christ. No, it's not moderated as in what you say. So we can take a joke and you can post a joke without being saying, you violated community guidelines. No. If you want to make a joke, you can make a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So thank you very much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see more of that sort of stuff, let us know. We're happy to do gaming, TV, video. You know what? Whatever. People want to see. We don't care.
Is just the waffle show.
Whatever.
You can't call that. That's already taken.
Is it?
Waffling by Joe Weller. It's like a waffling podcast.
So stay safe, everybody. Hopefully, well, I said this last year, but I really want to get to the end of this lockdown situation because I really need a road trip.
You say this and it's going to happen.
I know. Just somebody inject me with something, please. Right, we'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Goodbye.
Can
I have my skull back now?
You what?
Can I have my skull back now?
Yeah, what are you going to do with that skull anyway?
I don't know.
I think we should modify it. I think we should put some LEDs in it.
You can't. It's not hollow. You've only got these little
Watch me. I've got a drill.
You're not drilling into my medical practice.
Can I drill into your skull?
I need this. I need it for my art.
Let me drill into your skull.
I need it for my art.